We're going to transition over here now. We're going to get Bagels and Penguin on the board as we're about to head into the Novice League. So I think we're going to get them in the call here in a second. They have no idea I was doing an intro. So I'm just going to drag them in. They maybe they're listening to the stream while I was doing the intro. But we got Bagels, we got Penguin in the stream. Bagels. Well, actually, let me start with Penguin first here. Penguin, he's been around in Nemesis, I think. Is this your first time on the mainstream here, Penguin?
This is my second time on the mainstream. Okay. I did the combines. I did the provisional combines with Merely, and that was my mainstream debut. But I'm glad to have a quick turnaround and be right back here with you guys.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you up here in the booth with us. And of course, we got the one and only Cookin' Bagels back in the booth. Bagels, welcome back to everyone's favorite league, the Novice League and the Novice League Draft.
Yes, indeedy.
You excited to be here, Bagels? You excited to see what's going to happen in this wild Novice League that is the boundaries have shifted into oblivion?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to, based off the names we have, I'm just going to go based off names. That's basically what I did as GM. So, like, if the name is good, then they're probably good.
There you go. You can't beat a good name, like Cookin' Bagels. I mean, that just screams tight league player for you.
I'm pretty washed these days. I'm pretty washed.
Thought he'd be rival here. He's like, am I gonna be a rival league? And I was like, I think so.
I deserve it at this point. I can't even compete.
You think so?
The 1700 lobbies are no match for me anymore.
It'd be like that sometimes. But hey, that's how it goes. So, let's get into things. I know we're a little bit behind, but I mean those times are approximate. I didn't know how long the provisional draft was going to take, and we had the recruitment raffle to go through. So things are starting out here. There were a lot of trades in the last little bit here, and one of these big trades is actually for the first overall pick. I actually jumped Frost with the first overall pick here in Genesis, and I'm making some waves here. Quick shout out to Threat for the one gifted to Velatech. Much love to Threat, who I believe is in Novice League this season. Oh, he's going to hate me if I'm wrong about that. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But thank you, Threat, regardless. I made some moves, and I'm going ahead and starting things off here, and I'm selecting Rooney with the number one overall pick here. I jumped over Dan, basically for a third-round pick. I jumped over Dan, and I'm going with Rooney for Genesis. The man was cracked. I mean, goal of the season. The man had like 80 awards. How can I not select Rooney here? To get onto my roster. So, Fly Penguin, what do you make of that? I know you've seen Rooney quite a bit around here.
Yeah, it was honestly expected. He was the popular MVP. I'm sure a lot of people wanted him to be MVP, Finals MVP, if I'm correct. And he dragged the Ignite team from the depths straight to a chip, and that man is goated. Greatest mechanics in Novice, even though the MMR has moved up, he's still going to be one of the greats and ones to watch in Novice for sure.
I hope so. Hey, I selected him. I hope he's one of those greats in Novice here. For me, that's what we're hoping for. And I think, sorry, Dan, I may have foiled your plans a little bit. So he may have to do some thinking now that this has happened. But hey, when you see an opportunity, Bagels, I know you said you're a former GM. When you see an opportunity, sometimes you gotta go ahead and snag it up if you're gonna get one of those players that are just exceptional.
Some people are a little bit more diplomatic about it than you, though. You can be a little.
Hey, I had the number one overall pick. I don't know what to tell you.
You like to press your narrative, your agenda. But no, absolutely. I mean, when you got a player like that, I mean, champion coming from last season, I mean, it's pretty hard to pass up that opportunity if the opportunity does in fact present itself. So. Yeah, I mean, good on you.
Well, there we go. Rooney's coming to Genesis, and Frost is going to go ahead and select Chad here, who was a newbie from last season, but one of those players, Psycho. I love Chad. He's an excellent player there.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk right now because I got to just say that my draft is turning out to be the way that it always freaking is. Of course, my first pick gets sniped. Okay, thank you, Dan. I hate you. Can we go to the next person now?
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that, but no, it's a good pick. I was gonna pick Izachad. He's I don't know if you call him a sleeper pick or not. He was new to the league last season, but I think he made a lot of waves, and I think he's a really good player. And I'm super sad that I didn't get him, and I hate Dan more than I hated him previously.
Yeah, that's what happens in the draft, though. I remember way back in season 1, when I was drafting, I think Jacob Illusions. I don't know if anyone remembers Jacob Illusions, but he was on there, and we had some beef. He said he was going to fight everyone that took his pick. He was a little bit upset. All in good fun, of course, but yeah, sometimes there is some hard feelings though when you take someone's player here, and that's just how it goes sometimes. You got to roll with the punches in the drafts. And well, with that being said, rolling with the punches, I'm sure there are some picks here, that some people may have to roll with as the Vandals are coming in. They're selecting Brindy the Blade here, going to the Vandals, and then Ignite is coming back, and the defending champions, Ignite, who made the miracle run last season, they're coming through and selecting Eleanor Vita, who we saw. I mean, Vita was insane last season, at the end of things, Penguin, and now he's returning. Brindy's going to the Vandals. What do you make of those two?
Well, for Smooth and Vita on Ignite, an unfortunate circumstance happened. They don't read the rule book. They don't pay attention to the Discord. He could have re-signed Vita, had a first-round draft pick, but hey, that stuff happens. So he rolled with those punches, but he still gets his player. Brindy, personally, love the guy. Very demoable. He's easy to hit on the field, but he's a great dude. Vandals are going to love him.
You call him slow, Penguin. You saying he's slow out there?
No, I don't think he's slow. I'm calling him predictable.
Okay, there we go.
He doesn't have spatial awareness.
Absolutely
not. Well, it is Novice League after all, so novice moments are bound to happen with no spatial awareness. Even with spatial awareness, sometimes they'll still throw here an own goal here and there, of course. So, well, we will have to see there. And the next pick going off the board, Bagels, your former org, making a move here. They're selecting a Stellar onto this roster here.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar. I'm assuming he's new to the league because I'm not familiar with his name. But then again, I've kind of not paid attention too much to the lower leagues for the past few seasons. But he does. What MMR is this man at?
1343.
1343. So
which is way up there. Way up there. 1350
he must
at the
be
top.
pretty decent if he's all the way up there. So I'll have to see how the Wisps round out the rest of their roster. But yeah, I'm glad Penguin explained the background lore on why he was signing, because even I was like, wasn't he on the team last season? So, but yeah, I've fallen victim to that rule as well. I lost one of my favorite players way back in like season 4 or something because he did not re-sign. He did not react to the message, even though he wanted to be on the team. As now the Kiwis are going to select Dre.
Dre on the board there. I think I've seen Dre around. I don't know if it was just from the off season or if it was, from last season. I don't know. Does anyone recognize Dre from last season? I feel like the name is familiar to me, but maybe
he has
just
no
because
roles. Well, now
it's
because
they're changing him. They're changing him around a little bit, so he may have just been a draftee or something. But
yeah, I don't recognize Dre either from last season or otherwise. I feel like this might be his rookie season in Nemesis.
It could very well be. You may be exactly right about that, but we'll have to see what happens. So, congrats to Dre going home to the Kiwis, and that's Cool Kyle there as the new GM. Shout out to Cool Kyle. We have a lot of new GMs in our I guess Power 5 there with our 16 team leagues, and Cool Kyle taking over the Fruit Ninjas there, replacing Squirrel and JD on that one as the Spitfires. This is a spicy one. I think Penguin may be laughing at this one as the the Spitfires are going to go ahead and select Jorbage. Right back there. He went to the draft and he got drafted right back from whence he came. So
Yeah, I think he tried to go non-playing. He wasn't interested to play, or he didn't sign his interest form because he didn't want to play this season. But once the format released, he's like, I'll give it another crack. He gets to play with North again, maybe run it back, season 6 champs, and they get Monk. It's going to be a scary team, but also like we're seeing a lot of wasted draft picks. But personally, I like Jorbage. As a player, as a person, he's kind of iffy, but I still enjoy his presence and conversation. We'll see if this personally cracked Spitfires team make a run at this chip.
we'll have to see for sure. And he's hyped about it in chat, so I take it wasn't like it wasn't. It was mutual. It was mutual on this one. He's excited to go back over there to the Spitfires, who on the roster, Paranoid Monk and North on the roster. So they have room for an 1192. Is that they do have room? 1185 is the minimum, or 1186, I believe, is the minimum for Novice. So they got some room to work with there. So I don't think they can even draft anyone with their picks remaining, but they have room for the minimum, which is all you need technically when it comes down to things. So they've made it happen, and Spitfires looking to return to their former glory. What was that season? Is that season 6 champions there in that thrilling game 7? That was some wild times for sure. So congrats to Jorbage there. Congrats to Dre and Stellar, the other 2 picks that just happened previously. And it puts Frost on the clock here. And, I think Dan may be scrambling a little bit as he's trying to figure out who he's going to pair. He's got Icarus and Izachad on the roster there, Bagels. And now he's looking for some moves here to make for who's going to be his third, or I guess you could draft your sub here, but I mean, he's drafting in the first round, picking up 8. So I assume you got to be looking for the third starter at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got room for maybe a lower 1300 or high 1200 on there. So, I mean, you got a decent amount of people to choose from. And actually, Sage used to play for Dan as well, and Sage is on there at 1320. Or if he really wanted to get and throw a wrench into things, he could pick up JD. Really, he brings some spice to the roster.
Okay, I think this is the wrong. He's selecting someone, but it's Sky Newbie, who I think has another new account. I think there's 3 Sky Newbies in the server. Mods, you may if not more. Mods, you may have to track it down. It's not letting me ping the correct one. Someone find that correct ping. I think he may have a different account, but regardless, they're going to select Sky Newbie off the board there. On that one, so Sky Newbie is heading to Frost, which is interesting. Curious to see.
Pick. He's been around the Novice League for like 3 seasons,
something like that.
Or prospect. I think he's prospect novice around that kind of range, but he's always kind of been on a playoff caliber team. And even though I don't really pay attention, I have seen him on stream once or twice, and I was impressed with what he was bringing to the table at that point. We'll have to see if he can be consistent, but I mean, that's a pretty good roster so far with Izachad, Icarus, and him, though. Me personally, I'd love to see Mr. Mario, Mr. Marino.
Mr. Mario.
just messing with him. It is Mr. Mario at this point, though. I'm sorry. I'm just rolling with it. Based off what Psycho said, you mess up a name, and not messed up. It was planned. I never mess up. I never make mistakes. He could be sub on that roster, but I want Mr. Marino to go to a fully starter team, as he almost ended up taking home the chip last season.
Well, we will have to see. We'll have to see if he does. He's down there. He's the lowest MMR on the board, so we're going to have to see what happens when it gets down to it. And the next pick is in. Ninjas here. Psycho's doing the drafting tonight for the Ninjas with Foam, new GM, but Psycho's helping him out since Foam unavailable. But Psycho, you're going ahead. You had a couple picks tonight, but you got K-Man here on the roster. He's on Rocket League right now. He's a grinder. You're muted, Psycho.
I'm muted. Why am I always muted? I'm so excited. I'm happy he's a grinder. I got some inside information just like today on K-Man, and I'm so happy. Thank you to my insider. You know who you are, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get Chad. Like nobody's gonna pick Chad, right? Wrong. Dan the man. Always putting the wrench in my plan. But that's all right. K-Man. Grinder. We're going to check him out. We're going to see how he does. I've heard he's pretty mechanical, and that's really what me and Flight need. Me and Flight are really solid defenders and midfield players, so we need a heavily mechanical player.
Well, I don't know anything about him, but I hope you're right about that being mechanical. And K-Man, welcome to the league. Welcome to the Ninjas there, who made a good run last season. I think Fly Penguin knows a little bit about the Ninjas from last season.
I sure was the captain of that team. We started out with me, Outcast, and Z-Verns, and we made a great run of it. Then we traded for Flight Night, so I got to sit myself on the bench and watch them dominate. Sad ending, first round exit, but we lost to the season's runner-up in the Whelps. But I'm excited to see what this new Ninjas roster can do without me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Psycho being back. He was there when I started and joined the Ninjas, so I know for sure he's going to be a great teammate and bring him on well and do the Ninjas proud.
I got Penguin on the Ninjas. I was like, let's pick him up.
Hey, there you go. And now he's a GM in the Provisional League, making some moves down there. So congrats by the way. While we wait for the next pick is in. Next couple of picks, I think we talked about Kiwis selecting Twisted Hydro, who a lot of people seem hyped for, and the Crows selecting Parallax. Well, before we talk about those, what did you make of your Provisional League draft, Penguin? Did you like how things turned out? I know you had some first time drafting down there.
Yeah, it went pretty smooth. It's went as expected, at least. I knew with the 8th pick I wasn't gonna be getting the picks I wanted, but I got the picks I expected, and I got Geterson in the first round. He came to, I think, a tryout that I hosted, and being in comms with him, he was a pretty chill guy, and I look forward to teaming with him. And I got, just like Psycho, I got insider information on Nolly, and I played with him a couple games and couple conversations, and he seems like just a good locker room guy. I got a good locker room team. We're gonna have great vibes, and hopefully we're gonna raise up some good Nemesis community members here.
Heck yeah, we love the vibes. It's always good to get a good vibe team. I know Bagels, you had a good vibe team last season, and sometimes the good vibe team makes a run. Sometimes the good vibe team makes a run all the way.
We should have made a deeper run, but
yeah.
we just didn't. We didn't perform. But no, that was probably one of the most fun teams I've ever played on in Nemesis, and I played 7 seasons. Maybe if I have some extra time, which probably not, I might try and come back, but we'll have to see what's in the works as what is that, Pawns? Speaking of my team, my teammate, there were a lot of picks. Yeah, Parallax too, longtime Nemesis veteran, going to the Crows, who's the only one on that roster at the moment. So they're gonna have to get a lot of people to surround Parallax, and then Pawns with removing Pillow, who has in his name 1412 peak, yet he's 1334 on the sheet. So how long ago is this peak we're talking? It must be over a year old.
No, he's peaking now, I think.
Yeah, he just started.
He just peaked like last days.
Week. Yeah.
Like
I think Bubbly knows something we didn't. I think Pawns, along with Mr. Silent there, are going to be contenders.
We're going to have to see. The picks are, this draft's going a lot quicker than last one. These GMs are on something right now. They know what they're doing here. As next couple picks are, we talked about Twisted Hydro a little bit. Congrats to him. People are hyped to get on the Kiwis there with Cool Kyle. The Crows coming in with Parallax. The Pawns with the Ruben Pillow in the peak. Aurora's come back selecting Chancellor, who was on the Vandals. And Acceleration is selecting our buddy from the booth. They're going ahead and selecting Irosa. So congrats to Irosa there. First cast, and now I think he's going back to Acceleration. Am I right about that, Penguin? He's going back to Acceleration again?
Yeah, I believe he was the captain of Acceleration early last season and then traded to Diffusion to end it. It's going to be his return, and I believe he was teammates with Fluffy. I'm not 100% on that, but he is definitely making his return.
Well, hopefully it's a mutual return here, but you never know how it goes in the draft. Sometimes it's just how it goes. Big C-Dub's taking him on board there, and yeah, that's another pick in the book. And Vandals are going to go ahead and select a Freckly Jinja.
Another return.
Another return there. What's going on here? What's going on in Novice, guys? We're just not re-signing people out here. We're just saying, hey, everybody come on back. You come on back. You come on back.
Jinja went to Prospect last season. So,
okay.
Him, Mallow, and
Jolly Rogers.
Jolly Rogers were the season 6 Vandals, and then Jinja went up to Prospect, and Mallow left. So now it's his name just left my head again. Jolly Rogers. I apologize. Rookie of the Year, season 6, Jolly Rogers, trying to reunite with his teammate to get that magic back.
We'll have to see. And while we're still going, this round is going fast and furious right here. These GMs are ready as 8 goes going off the board to Ignite. So let's pause a second, take a look at this draft board. Congratulations to all the draftees. There's a lot of people off in round 1. Looks like Kiwi's got 2 picks off there. Frost got 2 picks off the board. Ignite got 2 picks off the board. Vandals. I mean, there are some rosters now that are, they're going to be set for a bit there. So congrats to round 1 there, to everyone in round 1. We got to move on to round number 2, which is led off by Acceleration now to see what they can add to their roster after just getting Irosa. So, well, so far, you guys, I know there's still, we still got 3 rounds to go here. Obviously, round 3 and round 4. Well, I guess mostly round 4. There's only 3 picks in round 4, so it should go by pretty quickly there. But what are we making? What are we making of these rosters so far? Bagels, you see anything of intrigue right now? I think I'm noticing that the fusion is empty at the moment after round number 1.
Yeah, they are. There's nobody on that roster at the moment. But there are also a lot of people or a lot of teams that only have 1 player on the roster, which I guess, kind of gambling, so to say. Maybe if they want their picks in the second round, didn't end up making some trades for some extra first round picks. But, again, they did make some good picks like Aurora with Chancellor, Crows with Parallax. Don't know too much about Stellar, but he is high MMR with Wisp. So all those teams with only 1 player, but they do have good players to try and surround some additional teammates with. But also the rosters that are looking kind of scary at the moment are, I got to go with Pawns and Ignite re-signing Lunar Vita. And I'm also interested with Ignite's strategy because their first 2 picks, they signed 2 1,200 players. And there's a lot of 1,300 players on the board. So again, if you can find some high value in the lower MMR range, I mean, Ignite could try and make another great season as well. But I'm looking at Pawns and Ignite at the moment. And Vandals, actually.
A lot of good rosters, and we're getting round number 2 here. Acceleration has gone off the board, and they've selected Threat with their pick. So Threat, he was asking if he was going to get drafted. There he goes. Threat, former Genesis member. Good to see him sticking around and getting on another team this season. So congrats to Threat on making it to Acceleration, who where is Acceleration on this list? So they have room for a 1346 on the board, which is a little spicy there. So they got some room to work with, but we're gonna have to see what that gives them necessarily. But it's gonna be interesting. And then Vikings, I believe it's Vikings. Someone put a question mark on me. I'm right. I'm right about that. Don't you question mark me. Make me double check double guess myself.
Well, right. The Vikings,
or are they full?
Team is full. Yes.
Oh, well, that's impressive.
So I guess you're right, but you're somewhat wrong.
No, I was right. I was right because the mods are so quick. They put it in before I could announce it. They're so quick. They're like that. The mods are like that.
They just posted it though.
That's what I'm saying. The mods are on it. Vigil is going to the Vikings.
It was there for like 30 seconds. There's
holy.
There's something going on.
Hey, respect to the mods. They're on that. So, respect to whatever mod is doing the PRF sheet there. Whoever's putting the work behind the scenes, they're going in. So
I would assume it is Loosh, Beast Mod and Victory Org GM. So he's
he might have
got his-
known, had some
Yeah,
insight.
he picked it before.
he put him on the roster. He's like, that works.
Sense. That makes a lot more sense now why that happened.
Oh, that is true. He does confirm it is him on the PRF. So he was the one, the chosen one. So he knew.
Yeah,
So
I believe Chancellor was like former Challenger League, right? So
no, he was
now
on,
Aurora-
he was on Vandals, and then he left the league after they lost, and then he came
Really?
back. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
there
let's
must
come
be
back.
another different Chancellor or something. Because I could have sworn there was like a,
Maybe he could have been
higher
up the
up.
challenger. I don't know.
but I at least maybe I'm thinking of another player. But Aurora on the clock now. Gonna try and find somebody else. Says they get him. I don't know if that's the guy you want right now, but I tell you what, that is a man you absolutely want on your roster. Is Mr. Mario, grand finalist last season there, and also the lowest MMR on that team last season, but was honestly coming up with some really big plays in the grand finals.
Yeah, I agree. Mr. Marino, really a sleeper pick. He's literally, as it stands, the lowest MMR in Novice, but he showed up to my Novice tryouts, and I was heavily considering picking him. I just didn't think that he was going to be on the board for me since I didn't have a second round pick. Like Bagels mentioned, he is a grand finalist from season 7 with the Whelps. They did lose to Ignite in the in the grand finals, but Mr. Marino, he's just a solid player at the tryouts. He did really, really well. He's got a good attitude. He calms well. Just that's a great pick. I'm happy for Aurora with that.
Well, there we go. Aurora getting Mr. Marino. I also love Mr. Marino. Good to see him making his return in Novice League. See if he can get back to the grand finals with Aurora this time. And the Wisps coming through and selecting Sage Beast, otherwise Sage Burner, who's been around Nemesis for a long time. So a huge Nemesis veteran going to the Wisps there. The Wisps. Well, great name. Great name, Bagels, putting it together way back when.
It's not
the
that
Wisps.
hard.
Well, you know, it'd be
Would
like
you
that
like me
sometimes.
to would you like me to rename it retroactively with Spectral
No.
Figure or something? Or the Ghost?
The Ghost. No, I don't mind it. I was just saying
It is a good
the sound, you know, be a little bit tough sometime.
I don't know.
And also, Genesis is on the clock, and I'm doing something spicy here, guys. I'm doing something spicy. All right. Well, actually, let me make sure before I do this. Let me make sure the math works. I think I'm doing something spicy here, but carry on without me for a second while I crunch
if
the
you don't
numbers.
pick up DP Snail, is it really spicy?
Yeah, it's not spicy unless you do pick it. I agree with Bagels, 100%.
Oh, what if he picks up JD though?
Oh,
That would
okay.
be
There's
spicy.
two spicy choices here.
Oh man,
I gotta
Johnny Boy Kills as the sub. I'm assuming with JD on the team. I mean, that's a
No,
roster destined for self destruction. I think.
if you get JD, you have to bench him, right? You have to.
Oh no!
With how many players he picked up just to bench, you have to bench him.
Oh man, he's no longer GM, so he's no longer in control of his own fate.
Get wrecked.
I was gonna do something spicy, but I'm gonna hold over to the next round. I think. I was getting a little bit concerned. I'm a dude. I'm selecting Unreal Bandit all the way at the top, 1350 off the board. Coming to Genesis here. So
You know, I think
Makes
that's
it
a
seem
good.
like you don't know anything about him.
no, I actually do know about Unreal Bandit. I watched him in the combine, and he
Which
went
he did.
crazy.
Yes, he did.
He
I
went
was going to
crazy.
say that he went crazy in the combines. I was looking at him, but with my team, we didn't have enough room for him. So I think that's a good pick, Rocker.
I love it. With Rooney and Unreal Bandit, whew, all I'm saying is the third on the roster, whoever that may be. Well, it's going to be interesting. So we're going to have to see. But Rooney and Unreal Bandit, I'm liking. Maybe this is the season for Genesis. Maybe this is the season. I did a little bit of work in Novice this season, trading up to get Rooney, and hey, when Unreal Bandit fell to me, is one of those is like I was really trying to get him. So I'm happy to get him on the roster here for Genesis. So we'll see if this is the season for Genesis.
Sounds like you need to make a trade for Mr. Marino.
I would love to get Mr. Marino. I was hoping Mr. Marino would stay. I had a couple of options, but if Mr. Marino is there, he may have been my guy. There's a couple people I was thinking of. He may have been my guy, but I'm happy.
Musty Flicks at the bottom there, 1201.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Can you do a Musty Flick?
I do have exactly 1201 room to select Musty Flicks.
Oh, you have 1201. I thought it was 1210. It is exactly 1201.
I have exactly 1201, so
you have two choices.
Very true. I do have two choices. But that's a story for pick number 33 of the first pick of the third round. We'll have to see. As the next pick is coming off the board, the Whelps are going to go ahead and select Quackbot, who's also been around Nemesis for a while. It's good to see Quackbot back here. He's in Novice League this season and going over to the Whelps, who are looking to get back to the grand finals yet again. And Quackbot, will he be the one? Is he the chosen one here? I don't know.
I don't know, but he does have C Money on his team. And, C Money last season, I don't think he really plays the game anymore. And last time I saw him on stream, I think he was subbing up for a challenger game, and he actually was just dominating. So maybe if C Money decides to play the game at least somewhat regularly, the Whelps might have a chance. Again, Quackbot, though, another Nemesis veteran, but I kind of have to question if he's been playing the game at all at this point. I know he took a few seasons off. So I'll have to see as another pick comes off the board.
They got a great name there. They got a great Discord name, Bagels Best Titan, in their nickname, Bagels.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, they're buttering you up.
I'm no longer a player in the Titan League, so we'll have to see. But
you can still be the best.
Honestly, I have a lot of confidence in myself as a player. I'm not the most mechanical. I'm not going to do some flashy things, but I am a player you want on your team. I, for the first time in 8 Nemesis seasons, can say you probably don't want me on your team anymore because I don't know how to play the game anymore. I'm really bad.
Well, you're still better than pretty much most of our community.
Well, yeah.
Oh, there's that.
I'll take what I can get. But no, honestly, a good. Oh,
Bagels and
sign me up.
He'll take on some novices.
Yeah, you could make that the next YouTube video, 1v3. I'll try and 1v3 the provisional team.
Yeah. Well, I wish
I'll lose.
I mean, it could be difficult. It could be difficult, even if they are some provisionals. Which it's weird to say that now instead of novices. It's the provisionals that are now going to be the butt of every joke. So.
I'm going to be honest. I wasn't a fan of the name, but it is kind of flowing off the tongue at least decently well. I tried to come up with a better name. Probably looked at it for 2 minutes, didn't put much thought into it, and I said, it's good enough. So, but I'm not in management anymore, so I can't really make that decision anyway. But provisional, I'm okay with the name. As another pick does come out, actually 2 picks. Yeah. Diffusion coming in with Volcron, and Gorgons with. Ooh, see, this is one of those names I would have picked up immediately. This is like you draft this player off name alone, Saucytron. That's a good name right there.
Well, before we talk about those picks, I do want to say I've been thinking of another league name for seasons, and I could not think of one. A couple days before we decided about the 6th league, I thought of Provisional, and I was like, oh my goodness. It was like it was like an epiphany. I said Provisional, and I was like, that could work. And then that's kind of where that came from. And rest of management liked it as well, so that's what we went with. And Provisional League is born, so there we go. Next picks are in. We got a spicy one on the board. We got JD. He's off the board. He's going to Diffusion, which is interesting. JD, he's not on the Fruit Ninjas org anymore. He is heading over there. So there we go. And Saucytron going to the Gorgons. Diffusion getting JD. And now the Crows are going to go ahead and select Saint, who was on the Frost last season.
Yeah, and Gorgons with an interesting pick there, as all 3 of their players are 1200, so they actually have too much MMR to use effectively. They're going to have about maybe 50, 60 left over, depending on who they go with.
Well, do you have to make sure they have enough room to select at least have enough room to get a bottom or a lowest MMR? So.
Well, no, they have 3 players already, and they have
Oh,
1403 remaining. So yeah.
Oh, okay. They got
That's
some
what I
room,
was saying.
a little bit of room. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure there. Yeah, the next pick, Saint going there. Frost, returning member. Congrats to Saint on getting drafted here in round number 2. And that's going to put the defending champions on the clock as Ignite. You're going to select Dorfin here, who is new to Nemesis. I think this is different than Dolphin Puck, who won our recruitment raffle. Congrats to them. $67 in the bank just for recruiting a bunch of people. So they put in the work and won the raffle. So this is not them though, but shout out to them anyways. This is a Dorfin, not a Dolphin. So there's clearly a difference that I am missing, but there it is.
Man named Dolphin Puck.
There is a man named Dolphin Puck.
Yeah, he won the raffle.
Yeah.
He got $67 in his pocket.
I just want to address the chat for a second. Ariso, I'm not a GM anymore, so I can't pick you up for Novice. In fact, I don't even know if you're on the draft list.
No, I don't think he is. Well, maybe he is.
If he does sign up, though, he's fallen from great heights, and I know what that's like. So I think he was like 1,600 something at some point. So I mean, hey, if he's a novice, somebody pick up Ariso.
That could be true, although I do not see him on here. So yeah, there is that. And Aurora on the clock, and another one here, another returning player. They didn't even bother to change their name. Bond 5 Rice is coming back to Aurora. This is these GMs, man. They're doing something. They got something. They got something in the works here. They're just selecting, guess everybody. So, actually, Frost is on the board, but they cannot select anyone. They have 1197 remaining. They have no room to select anyone. So,
yep.
Well, they do have enough room to draft a lowest MMR, but they cannot select. So I'm going to delete this message and can update the draft order with a dash.
I mean, hey, if you got Sky Newbie, Icarus, and Izzachad, I mean, maybe he's hoping to just rock that until he can draft a sub. But Icarus and Izzachad, they were former teammates on the Crows at the beginning of the season before Icarus was traded to Frost. And playing against the combo of Icarus and Izzachad, it was difficult. They are demons. We did end up reverse sweeping them as I pat myself on the back, but they are going to be a dangerous duo. Sky Newbie returning and rising up to the heights that he has. They could be dangerous and may not need a sub just yet. So we'll see what they can do.
It's true. That is the strategy. I know a lot of GMs. I think last season the best example of that, that actually led to a championship was Hydra, who was it 1 MMR remaining, I think, and they're on their roster out of their 4 players, and they made it work here, and they ended up winning a championship. And Ignite, the Whelps are coming through and selecting Control Delete. Who is that a return from way back? Can I be wrong about that? I may be wrong about that, but it sounds vaguely familiar, like Control Delete Whelps.
He did have that in his name for sure, but he wasn't on the Whelps last season.
Yeah, I know about that. I'm thinking like way back. It could be.
I think he was on Wyverns at one point.
Oh, that might make sense. His season 1 teammate of Biscuit, he says. That is true. Yeah. Way back in season 1. That's a throwback.
But yeah, on the topic of the Whelps, we were talking about MMR space. They had enough MMR space to draft a minimum or to pick up a minimum player, but they rocked a 3-man roster all season with Jeff Masters, Mr. Marino, and Grebsy. They did not have a sub that I saw all season, and they got second place in Novice. So we'll see how that strat is effective for some teams here. But Control Alt Delete or Elite, I'm sorry, hoping to do his old team proud here.
Yeah, Control Alt Delete. He's an OG in Nemesis. He's been around. Rockerman, help me out here. I feel season like 1. Since season 1. I was going to say season 2, but holy moly! I'm so glad this man made it on a team. It's not 8 seasons. Yeah. 8 seasons. Control Alt Delete. Shout out, you the man.
Yeah, true. Shout out to Control Delete coming back. And yeah, Biscuit was saying he was a season 1 teammate on the Wyverns who ended up making it to the grand finals in that season. And yeah, congrats to him. And also congrats to our last pick of this round as we kind of take a look one more time at our Novice League, round 2 here. We have Tripwire 104 off the board. They say A in chat. Congratulations on getting on the board there. And going to the defending champions on Ignite, looking to go back to back here. Their roster is now full with Dorfin, Tripwire, Eleanor Vita, and Aiko. So some rosters are filling up here as we're heading into round 3. And I'm not gonna lie, once I saw that pick, I was very happy because none of my 2 options got selected. None of my 2 options got sniped there. I've got room in my roster for 2 people, Musty Flicks and Chunk Light, and I have a decision to make.
If you want my recommendation, Rocker Man, I'd say you'd pick up Chunk Light. He is a 6-man's grinder. He's active in the Discord, and he's a great dude. So before you make your pick, that would be my recommendation.
Why are we helping this man out?
Yeah,
why are we helping
the first
this man
rule
out?
of drafting is don't help Rocker Man.
Yeah,
if you saw the way that this man is like a wolf backed into a corner in a cave with no other. He's like he has nothing left to lose, but he still tries to get everything from you in these trades. Like he's trying to nickel and dime you for it. He doesn't need any help.
Yeah, Penguin, you're
granted. He
me.
only has 2 choices, so it's like a 50-50 either way. But don't put yourself out there for this man.
I'm just trying to do good by my boy Chunk Light. He's a good dude. I just gotta maybe throw him.
And he listened to you.
Well,
he listened to you.
Well, he just helped me push over the edge a little bit. No, but I was looking at. Actually, I wanted to draft Chunk Light last season, but it didn't work out. He got selected so high up, and I couldn't draft him. And when I had a choice to make whether I go draft Unreal Bandit or get Chunk Light in the last round, I was debating. I was about to snipe Chunk Light. I was really about to do it, and then I was like, I saw Diffusion, and I was like, I can't leave Unreal Bandit on there. I had to pray that Chunk Light would fall to me, and it's a blessing. Genesis is dangerous. This might be the best Genesis roster I've ever had. Sorry to everyone else.
Noted Genesis.
Sorry to everyone else, but we got Unreal Bandit, Rooney, Chunk Light, Johnny Boy on the roster here for Genesis. I'm liking that. I'm really liking that.
So. I mean, at some point, Rocker Man, your novice team has to get out of the basement, so it's good that you open the door for them.
That's true. That's true. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I won't take that as hate. I will take that as he's right. We were getting out of the basement. We're coming back, baby. We had the number 1 overall pick this season. We had the worst record last season, but we're turning around. We're going from worst record to best record. So we'll have to see what happens. So as next pick coming in, we got Aurora coming in selecting Kusei there. Who really just got added today. They put up here a while ago, but it literally got sorted today, and they are getting selected here to Aurora on the board there. So congratulations to them. As what does that do for Aurora now on the roster there? I think
their team is full with 101 cap room left.
That's interesting.
They
do have Mr. Marino.
Old strategy, but they do have Mr. Marino.
They do.
You know, how are you going to draft Mr. Marino and then have like cap room of 101? Like,
that's true. Well, hey, I mean, Mr. Marino, he's like that. So, and Kusei, we'll see. Maybe he's like that. We don't know. As, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. And also, shout out to all the viewers. We're getting close to the peak. I've been watching a little bit. We're at 137 right now. Looking to see if we can peak in viewers. So shout out to everyone watching here. Shout out to all the support. I know a lot of follows have been coming in. Had a bunch of subs at the beginning as well. So appreciate you guys. As good thing I selected before the Wisp because they were gonna narrow my option down and maybe they would have selected Chunk Light, but they're gonna go ahead and select Musty Flicks on the board there to the Wisps to round out their roster. They got 3 now with 1236 remaining on the board. So Stellar, Sage, and Musty Flicks there on your former team, Bagels.
Yeah, and they got 1236 remaining left, so they got a choice between 3 players, and I don't know. I don't know who is it? Is Jarhead still GM?
Yes, Jarhead is still GM.
Maybe he's got a plan, but I'm not really envisioning the plan at the moment. This seems like a roster that was just thrown together based off of numbers alone. Maybe not too present in the tryouts per se, but what am I to say? But Sage, definitely a solid pickup, and Stellar, decent MMR as well, so hopefully he's a good pick as well. And, Musty Flick, if he can pull off a Musty Flick, then that, Novice League might be in terrible, terrible danger. If it takes him 1 out of 100, as long as he clips that one time on stream, I guess.
That's true. That is very true. Also, the Kiwis are saying they cannot pick. So the Kiwis are supposed to be on the board, but they do not have room. What do they got? 12? I guess there's not a lot of people at that bare minimum, it looks like. So yeah, Kiwis cannot select actually. So rip Kiwis. There you have to hope that a sub comes in through the draft. So these people really stretching it out here on this one. So interesting there. That's the risk you take though when you only leave the bare minimum MMR. I mean, people are always dying for those minimum MMR players.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this next Vandals pick. It looks like they do have room to select one of 4 players, and I got to shout out the Chef 98. I met him at Worlds. He's a great guy. I want to see him thrive. He peaked this season. He was another 1K MMR player last season. I'm not sure if he was grandfathered or just peaked exactly 1,000, but he's on the ups. So I hope he gets picked here soon. Hopefully next pick, but shout out the Chef.
True. I also met Chef at Worlds, and cool dude. So love to see them get drafted here. And we'll see what happens. There's still we got 19 people on the board. We've got goodness, I don't know what the number is here. Can I? It's not gonna help me. There's 8 + 3, 11. There's 11 picks left, 19 people on the board, so there's still some room to be had. There is. We hit 140 viewers. People are hyping up in the chat. We'll see if we can get to 150. If we get to 150, we could be making some moves. 148 is the peak, so we're gonna have to see. As that would be hype. That would be hype. A great way to kick off season 8, which is our biggest season yet, our biggest season ever. So we will have to see as the Vandals are on the clock now. And the Vandals, Sands, he's looking to make some moves here. He's looking to make some moves on this one. And what does he look right now? He's got Ginja and Jolly Rogers and Brittany the Blade. And well, I know I saw Fly Penguin smiling because the man is off the board. We'll speak it in existence. Chef is going to the Vandals.
I'm smiling here because I may have gotten pinged in Hub saying to keep my mouth shut. It's looking like T was wanting to pick the Chef, and I may have convinced Sands to.
This is what happens when you throw advice out there.
That's what I'm saying. Be active. The GMs will take it.
I'm a provisional GM. I'm not fighting any of these guys here, so I'll just stir the pot, have them fight amongst themselves, grab some popcorn, and watch it go
also,
down.
at the same time, just throw somebody's name out there, and if you don't have any idea whether they're good or not, and then somebody might pick them up. That's also
honestly,
happened.
That's kind of toxic.
That has happened before.
That's a little bit toxic. But hey,
DP Snail.
Toxic, yeah, we got DP Snail.
Speaking of toxic,
whoa, hey now, DP Snail there going off the board. He's looking for a team season 8, and looks like he may have found a team for season 8. And it's Acceleration, who 2-time champions way back when the Novice League was first a thing. Way back in season 3 and season 4, they went back to back, and Big C-Dub's still trying to make something happen, and he's rounded out that roster there, Psycho, and you got DP Snail, Threat, Irosa, and RU Fluffy. So some well-known names there coming through on Acceleration now.
Yeah, not looking bad at all. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty excited. As you mentioned, Acceleration, the back-to-back season 3, season 4 Novice winner. Since season 4, they've really kind of fallen off. Acceleration has had some seasons where they were, somewhat competitive, and then other seasons where they just weren't pulling their weight. So looking at that, Snail, Threat, Irosa, and Fluffy, I think that's a good lineup. They've only got three cap rooms, so as far as on paper goes, it's a fantastic lineup. But I'm expecting some pretty good stuff from that particular roster. That looks good to me.
I'm definitely willing to, or interested to see what's going to happen there as the Gorgons are coming in with another pick. I think it's their final pick. They had 1403 remaining, so they're waiting till the very end here for these high MR players. And sometimes that works out to your advantage here as they're going to go ahead and select Muffin Dealer, who's been around for quite some time there. Bagels and Muffin Dealer, they I don't even know how long they've been here, but I've recognized the name from a long time, and they're back here in Novice. They have I'm Trash in their name, but they're going to get drafted and make it to the Gorgons, who are trying to make another run with a Rogue in his org.
They've definitely been around a while, and I always got confused between Muffin Dealer and Muffin and Titan. And I honestly don't know. Was the Muffin and Titan used to be named Muffin Mateo? Is that what his name was? Okay, so yeah, I always got the two of them mixed up, but I know he's definitely been around for a while as well. And I don't think we addressed it, but Diffusion, the pick before this one, also picking up Oki or OK. I'm assuming it's just Oki.
Oak.
Oak.
Maybe
That's a
I
weird way to spell Oak.
No, I think it'd be Oki probably.
But again, Gorgons, their whole roster is 1,200, so they got about 120 cap room left. So interesting strategy there.
It's interesting. And Psycho, your next pick is in. I'm trying to find them in the Discord.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking, Psycho. Don't worry.
This isn't me. This wasn't me.
This wasn't him. Well, he might still be in the Discord. You could be completely right about this, but
he is in the Discord.
Oh, yep, there they are. There they are. Halo Boys is.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Mr. X Ice.
Mr. X Ice. Yes. So
I love when the names don't match.
little backstory
it was
here.
Just being weird.
Little backstory here. Mr. Ice here showed up. Was one of the 3 players that showed up to the Ninjas tryouts. Just so everybody knows in chat, you didn't show up to the Ninjas tryouts. Shame on you. I'm disappointed. But Mr. Ice showed up. He actually showed up late, which at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But then we went ahead and tried him out because we only had 3 other people show up, or 2 other people show up. And we played really good. Me and Flight had a really good time with him. We played really well. He had a good attitude, so I'm looking forward to having him on the roster. He's brand new in Nemesis, so rookie season, looking to make some moves.
All right, maybe hunting for their Rookie of the Season award. I know all the rookies look forward to that, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And you got K-Man as well on the roster, so your roster's rounded out now, Psycho, on the Ninjas there. You got you, Flight Knight, K-Man. What are you thinking now? You're kind of seeing rosters filling in as we're kind of getting to the last couple picks of the draft here. I think we only have 6 more picks total in the Novice draft. So how are you liking your odds at the moment?
Personally, I feel good about it. Ninjas, we didn't have a great draft pick, especially we didn't have a second round. So I'm working with what we got, but I think that we have a solid roster here that might not have a great start in the beginning, but if it doesn't, we can grow. I'm sure Mr. Ice has got a lot of potential. I'm sure he's got a lot of room to grow. And then, of course, K-Man, I got some insider knowledge. He's supposedly already on point, so we'll figure that out. I think I'll have a good run here. I think I got a solid crew.
Respect. And while we were waiting for all that, while we were waiting, while Psycho was kind of giving us the rundown on the Ninjas who were looking to make another run, we got the pick coming in here from the Crows. They're going to select O Cheese O on the name there. Bagel's another interesting name, but O Cheese O off the board there, and he's heading to the Crows for this upcoming season.
Yeah, I'm also a sucker for the food names. So
getting hungry.
Saucytron, the Chef 98, and Cheese. They're all up there for the food names. That would have rounded out my roster if I had a team. Just try and go with the food name, or like you got to go with like the puns too. What was it? The Frost team. They had all the players,
snow names,
like Ice or Snowy Frost,
Ice
whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
So sometimes the meme teams can be the best teams, as they do get Cheese there. And
someone
not too familiar with Saint, but that Crows roster looks pretty decent at the moment.
Saint was on Frost last season. I know Fly Penguin, you might have played against Saint and Frost in the last season, and yeah, now they've kind of they got their roster. You say the roster is rounded out. The Crows. Sorry,
No, just at least they're starters
Oh, okay.
by the looks of it.
Oh, Parallax and Saint. I think they're good friends, Parallax and Saint as well, if I recall correctly. And then 12-12 remaining there for the Crows there, Penguin.
Yeah, Saint last season, him and Icarus meshed really well. I forget who their third was at the moment, but they obviously made it to the second round of playoffs, and Saint was a big part of that. So I'm looking forward to him doing the same this season. And Parallax, I know from talking with him at Worlds, him and Icarus, that Parallax was close to the Frost team and he was like coaching them, so he probably knows Saint's strengths and can maximize it here with him on the team now.
I'm pretty sure we met Saint at Worlds. I just don't know anything
Yeah.
about the Rocket League side of this. The band.
He remembers everything else, the non-Rocket League related.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did obviously, like I said, even when I had time, I couldn't really watch it. But Pawns with their last pick, and
they've got a minute remaining.
I'm wondering who Bubbly is going to pick, because he's got 1273, and I'm not sure if Mallow's going to be sub or not. So, kind of interesting or very important choice here, because I do think Pawns is going to be pretty deadly with Mr. Silent and potentially removing Pillow.
Great name. And the pick is going to come in here. The Pawns are going to go ahead and select Septune on there. And that is, what is he at? 1271. So they really went all in on the room there to get that one. And that's the second to last pick of this round. And we're down to 4 picks remaining in the entire Novice League draft. There's only 3 picks in the 4th round, just based on filled rosters. So the Spitfires are in. They're in on the board here now. And yeah, they've got to round this one out here.
Yep, draft is over.
Oh, they cannot pick anyone, can they? Do they just not have room? Is that what's going on? Okay, well, apparently everyone's struggling to find a third. They did not manage their cap well enough, or I guess the lower bounds, there's just not a lot of players down there. So, well, the Spitfires cannot draft. So, rip Spitfires in their last pick. So, well, that's round number 3 there for the Novice League draft. So, there we go. We can take a look at who got drafted in round number 3. A lot of interesting names there, and now we only have 3 picks remaining in the entire draft here.
I don't think anybody can pick besides
Diffusion,
Wisps.
Can Diffusion not pick either?
Nope. I think the only person that can pick is Wisps.
That's a rip.
Well, yeah, Diffusion can't pick there, and then the Crows. Do you mean the Crows instead of the Kiwis?
Oh, I don't know. Does Kiwis not have a pick? I'm not looking at the screen.
No.
Yeah, they have 0 picks left.
Well, Diffusion and the Crows cannot pick, so we just got the Wisps. We got 1 pick. All right. Last pick of the draft. Who are they going to pick? And that is the moment we've all been waiting for. The Wisps. Jarhead. What was he cooking? Bagels? Well, that was
only one person he can pick.
No. Did that person go off the board? They disappeared off my screen.
They did. It's a remix.
Okay. All right. So let's put the Wisps on the clock there. And then the Wisps are going to go ahead and select, what is that? Remix there? It's remix. So that's it. That's going to round out the draft, the Novice League draft on this one. And a lot of people off the board. Unfortunately, some people didn't get off the board. So once again, we got to give the spiel. If you did not get drafted, make sure you guys stick around, because as you guys have seen, there are going to be some people that are going to be inactive. It happens every season. Rosters will change, especially even before opening day. Rosters will change. Just because you didn't get drafted doesn't mean people didn't want you. They just didn't know about you. So be active in the Discord. Play in 6-mans. Type in the hub chat. Type in your league general chat. Be active, and you could definitely find yourself on a team. I know people are going to be like, crap, this guy's inactive on my team. I got to drop him. Who am I going to pick up? And if they see that you're active in there, respond to any org recruitment pings, and boom, you'll have a good shot there. So So yeah, that is the Novice League draft. Congratulations to everyone on the Novice League. We've been going for a second here, so I'm gonna have Crippus set up a short break, just like 2 minutes or so, to give me and Psycho and the rest of the cast some time to breathe, bathroom break real quick. Give us like 2 minutes here, 2 to 3 minutes. We're gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna be back with the Prospect League draft. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna take a very, very short break. And then when we come back, we're going to get the prospects, which, the Prospect League is spicy with how the boundaries have moved. It is very spicy. So be ready for that. Be ready for that. Prospects are coming up after a short break. So stick around, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.